All states have eviction statutes, but Arkansas is the only state with the statute that essentially criminalizes evictions. If a tenant is late with rent and hasn't moved out 10 days after giving notice, the tenant is guilty of a misdemeanor. Tenants can be arrested.
He said, well, I have a warrant for your arrest. And I said, what was the arrest? What was the warrant for? And he said, it's pertaining to where you failed to vacate the apartment that you're living in. And so at that time, my children was crying. You know, they was baffled by what was going on. And I said, it'll be okay. I had to comfort my children, let them know it was going to be okay, because they was young, especially I had a 5-year-old at that time. I went to jail, and they handcuffed me in front of my children.
No other state arrests tenants for essentially not paying the rent.
Using the criminal process to enforce what is ultimately a civil dispute is wrong. Laws such as the failure to vacate statute are totally out of date, and they wrongly impact people who are down on their luck, who are poor, who are uneducated, and who don't deserve to have criminal penalties brought for what amounts to a breach of contract. We don't imprison people or threaten people with prosecution for being behind on credit cards or mortgages or car payments or anything like that. Why should we do it for folks who are behind on their rent?
But to be treated like a criminal, it can happen to anyone. If it happened to me, I tell people, if it happened to me, it can happen to anyone. And that is one law that needs to cease in the state of Arkansas.
The failure to vacate statute is outdated, antiquated, and totally ineffective in my opinion. One of the reasons our forefathers got on creaky boats and sailed across a treacherous ocean was to escape debtor prisons. And the failure to vacate statute, even though I've been involved in enforcing it, I've come to the realization that that situation's no different from the debtor's prisons.
For many low-income tenants, having a criminal charge brought against them can cause a spiral into even worse poverty and potential imprisonment.
Because we are the only state in the United States that carry that type of law on their books. Criminal eviction, because you're not able to pay your rent. Because that's a experience I never forget, because it emotionally affected me. And if I talk about it today, you'll still see tears in my eyes because it affected me emotionally.
Our legislature should repeal this cruel and outmoded law. For more information on what you can do to help, visit the website of Arkansans for Stronger Communities, arkstrongcommunities.com.